and in today's video I'll be showing you the handover on the Auto Sleeper Suffolk, which is a 2009 model. So coming down the driver's side, first thing you've got is the header tank, which is your reservoir for your flush. So all your exterior lockers open with the round headed key, and this is where you'd fill up with a pink flush solution. So you'd put some pink in and then you'd put some water in, and this would be where you pressed the button on the top of the toilet, and this would be what you'd get for flush. So it doesn't come from the main tank, it comes from a different tank in the system of the toilet. Below is your cassette. So to get the cassette out the exterior of the vehicle, you've got to make sure the blade on the bowl of the toilet inside is closed, and to do so you just lift, it'll come out. Once it comes out, to empty, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your shower block, toilet block. Take your cap off, which is actually used as a measuring stick for measuring your liquid when you come to refill it. Press the button, tip out. Once you've tipped out, there's normally a tap there, put some water in, give it a rinse, and then tip out again. Then you would fill it with your chemicals, so a cap full of chemical into here, and it's ready to put back into the vehicle. If you are using toilet roll, the best toilet paper to use is Home Pacific Perfect Toilet Roll, as it breaks down with the liquid, whereas your household brands swell with the water. And then down below you have your wet locker, so you can put storage in there. So this would be a good place to keep your hooker blade, your leveling ramps, and all your bits and pieces that get wet, your on and winding handle and so on, down there. Moving further along, you've got your max view exterior TV connection point. So it opens from the bottom, and if you were on a super site and they had an aerial on their site, you can connect to their aerial underneath. So you'd get yourself a length of coax cable, connect to the post and connect to the motorhome, and then you would be using their TV mast to get the signal instead of using the aerial on board the vehicle. So when heating your water on gas, this cover must be taken off, and to take it off, put your pressure at the top, thumb in the middle and peel it off. A good place to keep this is in the driver's door pocket, and then when you're all ready to move off, put it on. And especially when you're washing the vehicle, if you put this on, it stops any water from getting into the flue, but it allows the flue ventilation when heating the water on gas. Moving further along, you do have your hooker point. So to hook the vehicle up, get your hooker blade, lift the collar and hook up, and then to unhook, there's an arrow here pointing the small blue lever in the left side. You press down and unhook. Always hook the vehicle up first and then your sight, and do it in reverse when unhooking, so you're never walking around with a live lead. Down here is your fresh water intake. So this opens with the key. So the other key, which is the chrome key, and then you put a hose pipe in there and fill it until it either overflowed or you're happy there's enough water on board. You can see on board how much water there is via the control panel gauge. And then you've got your waste, which is down here. And then storage in here underneath your seat. Obviously there's your onboard tank for your water. You've got your carpets in there, and you've got storage underneath your back lounge. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, you do have your high level brake light and your tow bar with 13-pin electrics. And then on this side you've got your LPG, so this is your gas locker where your gas bottles are kept, and again opens with the same key. And in here you get two bottles, two kilogram bottles. Always make sure the bottles are strapped in when they're on board. Left hand thread, so it's always opposite threads, not righty tighty, it's left to tighten, right to loosen with a gas hose. Turn on and off at the top of the bottle, and obviously turn it off when you do travel. And then further down the vehicle, so this is your waste, sorry, the other side is your fresh, this is your waste dump. You would drive over a grid and open it, and then that's just the water we've tested the vehicle with in our workshop, and you'd let this drain off. Obviously in the winter it's very important that you leave all the water out the van, so you'd open the waste, the fresh on the other side, the boiler and all the taps within the vehicle, which I'll go on when we're inside. You've got a handle here for getting in and out the van, but also acts as a security handle when the vehicle's in storage. Got your fridge vents, your awning light and your microwave vent from behind your microwave. And then at the passenger door on the Mercedes Sprinter, you've got your fuel kit in here. Fuel, which is diesel, and you just open and fill. Leisure batteries underneath the seat. Engine battery is underneath the floor, underneath here, which is indicated by the icon on the step. And your bonnet release is just in the corner of the footwell here. So we'll have a quick look underneath the bonnet and point out the various liquids that you need to top up. So you've got your screen wash, which is the most important one to you. You've got your oil, filler and dipstick, your coolant and your brake fluid. If you ever needed to jump start the vehicle, so to jump start you would put your earth on here, and then your positive would go on. Sorry, to jump off the engine, to give the engine a jump start, you must jump off the battery, as there's an earthen point but there isn't a positive point underneath here. It's off the battery on the Mercedes Sprinter, especially this model anyway. And to close the bonnet, you'd push the bonnet in. When you push this in, push this in and then the bonnet will close. So once inside the vehicle, your main control panel, you just touch to enter the menu, and you've got the various different options. So you've got HAB, which is the HAB battery level, which is your leisure battery. Vehicle, which is the Mercedes Sprinter engine battery level. The life of the habitation battery. Start, which is just the HAB battery. The internal inside temperature of the vehicle. The exterior temperature of outside of the vehicle. The front and rear lights. Your fresh water, which is low, obviously because it's about 20 litres of water in there. You can set an alarm and you can go to setup. The pin for this, if you ever need the pin for it, is 4 zeros, so 0 0 0 0 enter, 0 0 0 0 enter. That's the pin should you need it. And then you can go in the settings and put alarms on for various different items. So if the water was to get low, you can put an alarm on and so on. Obviously you've got your on off here. You've got your HAB or vehicle battery. You always want it onto vehicle, onto HAB, sorry, not vehicle, as you don't want it to flatten the Mercedes Sprinter battery. You've got your pump and you've got your lights, which are on here. So that's just your master switch. You need the pump on to use the taps, toilets and all the other equipment that uses water. And above you've got your ultra heat on mains 230 volt. So off on the O, 2000 is 2 kilowatts. 1 to 9 is your thermostat, so 9's about 30 degrees. You've got 500 watt, which is half a kilowatt, and you've got a kilowatt, which is 1,000 watt, which you'd need to use on small SEL sites, but most sites in this country can just go right up to 2,000 and use 2,000, which is 2 kilowatts, to heat the vehicle. To lock the habitation door, you just push the little tab in, and as soon as you go for it, it'll pop back up. You can open the window on the habitation door. Obviously make sure all your windows and skylights are securely closed before you start driving. And then you do have a blackout fly screen, which just clips into there. And then if you pinch, you can bring the blackout blind up, and to separate, just pinch and depart. In your kitchen, you've got your microwave, which is only on 240 volts, so it doesn't work off the mains leisure battery. You've got to be hooked up for this to work. You've got sockets there. Got your tap, just showing that it's very hot, so your hot water's working there, and your water pump. Cutlery drawer, storage underneath, and then you've got your Dometic fridge. So you've got a travel lock on there, so you can lock it so once it's full it doesn't open when you're on the road. And then to operate, you've got off gas, which it'll self-ignite on gas, and this will go green when it's lit. And you've got mains electric, so if you're on a site you'd obviously have it on mains electric. And then you've got it on battery. Battery only works when the engine is running, as it gets a feed from the alternator, and is designed to keep the temperature of the fridge the same when departing. So if you're keeping this at home, you'd hook it up the day before, allow it to cool. The night before, you'd put your shopping in, allow it to chill overnight with the shopping in, and then when you are ready to start driving, just knock it on the battery. And it doesn't matter if you're going half an hour down the road or a longer journey, the shopping should stay nice and fresh, and then you just go either back onto electric or gas when you arrive at your destination. And then here you do have your temperature, which you would adjust. So in the winter you probably wouldn't have it as cold, but in the summer you would. And then once you have finished the season and you're not using the motorhome anymore, if you take out your remainder of your shopping out of here, give it a clean out, and then the last thing you want to do is shut the door, as it forms an airtight barrier. So just leave the door ajar ever so slightly so that air can get in and out, and it allows circulation. You do have a worktop extension here, so you can pull that out when you're either doing the dishes or using the cooker. You can put your chopping board on there for extra storage, worktop space. You press all the buttons in to open here, and this is just a holder for various different equipment in your kitchen, so probably wine glasses, which you can take that out if you require by taking the screw cap covers off and lifting it out, giving you extra space. And you've got storage here. To operate your hob, make sure the gas is on. You've got 3 gas, that are all lit there. Allow it to cool before you put the lid down, and you've got 1 electric hot plate on 240 volt only, and this will light up. So make sure that you haven't knocked this when you've not been hooked up, as if you've hooked up and this comes on, you may shatter the glass, so do check that often. Obviously that'll only work on 240. Make sure all this cools down before you put the lid down, otherwise it can shatter the glass. And below you do have your grill. Like so, which is lit. Allow the thermocouple to warm up before you release, and that is your grill lit. And then if you open your door, you've got your oven, which is lit like so. When you're on the road, it may be worth taking your oven shelf and your grill pan out, or wrapping them up, as this can be the main cause of the rattling. And then if you just push there, you'll notice you've got your gas tap status here, and you've got your gas taps here. So when you get the vehicle serviced, a technician will test all these appliances on gas by isolating them. But if you've got any problems with gas, turn it off at the bottle. You can isolate an individual appliance here. Storage as well under there, and that is just your wheel arch. To heat your van on gas, this is your gas fire, which you'd press down on here, so 1 to 10. So you turn on and release, and then if you look down here, you'll see the flame just there. That's when you know it's on, so it'll roar. So that's how to heat it on gas. Obviously you can have the gas and electric on together if it's really cold, but you'd kind of only use the gas if you are wild camping, as you wouldn't want to waste the electric because you've paid your site fee, so why waste your gas that you're paying for? And then on this side you have your fan speed. So 1 to 5 is your 12 volt assisted fan, which blows it from the top of the van in the washroom down the various ducts of the vehicle. And then here you've got your choice of where you want the air to go. So if it's off, you're not using the 12 volt assisted fan and it's coming out the front of the fire, which is great if you're wild camping, as it is taking no use of the leisure battery, and it obviously gives you longer time off grid. On A, it's automatic, and it'll automatically blow itself around the various parts of the vehicle until it hits the temperature that you've put. So say 23 degrees. Once it hits 23 degrees, it will cut out. Once it drops to about 19 degrees, it will kick back in and bring the vehicle back up to 23 degrees and cut out again. Or you can have it on manual, which is just the line there here, and it'll continuously provide the heat until you either turn the temperature down or knock the heater off. And inside your wardrobe, you've got your freestanding table, which is just like an ironing board with flipping the legs up and putting it down, which you can either have stand at the back of the vehicle or you can have outside if it's a nice day. You've got your Vision Plus booster, so when it goes green, it's found a signal, and then you've got your booster, which you can min and max to find a TV signal. So if it's too strong, turn it down. If it's too weak, you can turn it up. And you'll notice this when either the TV's pixelating, which means it's either too strong or too weak. You've also got your TV aerial, so what you'd do is you'd loosen it off, push it up, look where the other motorhomes and caravans is the best tip I can give you, and then you can use the toggle to direct the aerial. And then before you do start travelling, you want to pull it all the way into the vehicle and securely fasten this. And then to heat your water on gas, you'd simply turn down the gas flame, and then you've got 70 degrees, 60 degrees, 50, 40 and 30 degrees of heating your water. So showering, you'd normally shower at 50, and if you're doing the dishes, you can have it all the way up to 70, which is how you'd heat your water. So ultra store water on gas. This is when the cover needs to come off the outside of the vehicle down here. In your washroom area, to operate your Fedford toilet, you press the blue button at the back, make sure the pump's on, and this is your pink liquid from your reservoir, like so. And then you'd open the blade at the bottom of the toilet, so slide it right, deposit it in the cassette. So to use, you'd always flush it first to lubricate the blade, open the blade, use the toilet, flush your toilet, and then close the blade. And then on the back here, the man carrying the cassette, this will go red, which indicates the cassette is full and requires to be emptied and changed and topped up with chemical. You've got your shower screen here, this is on a gas strut, so you can slide this out like so, and then you can turn the turnbuckles on here as well, and this will act as your shower door, so you can shower behind here in the shower cubicle and your toilet area won't get wet. Obviously make sure it is securely fastened back in place before you travel, as it will clatter about. Same with this is just magnetic. And to turn your light on, you've got a little switch there. Like I said, once you winterize the vehicle, if you leave all your mixer taps in the middle in the open position, remove your shower head and allow the shower hose to lie in the shower tray as if it was up here. It's got a big loop in it and water can sit there and freeze, so allow that to lie in the shower tray. You've got another light here in above your toilet, so you've got two, and you've got a little drying rack here, so you can pull this out, and then this will just sit behind these two tabs, and you can hang your clothes in here to dry. As this is the smallest place in the van, with the heating on, it does get really warm. You've also got your skylight, fly screen, blackout blind on there, like so, and open, pinch, both together, or you can have it open whichever way you want, so one up, one down, just depending on the wind. To operate all your reading lights, they are all individually switched, like so. And then to operate your telly, so this is how to operate an Avtex TV. You get an Avtex remote, turn the telly on. It's a 12 volt TV, so it can work off just your main leisure battery. You don't have to be hooked up with the Avtex ones. And then to retune the telly, you'd press your AQT button. So on the black remote it's the big AQT remote, and on the white one it's the AQT up here. So you'd press and hold, wait 30 seconds or so, and then it will start searching for a channel. If not, you can press source and change to DVD and put a DVD in the side of the TV. But this is how to retune ETV. And then this is your TV working once it has tuned. And then to make the bed, you'd simply pull the handles, pull the lats towards each other. Like so, and then use the backrests into here, and that backrest one here into there, and make your bed. And then once the cushions are in place, this is what it would look like. So the backs of the cushions, turn these ones upside down as well, and those ones, and then you've got a flatter surface to sleep on. Otherwise you get the bull nose of the cushion and it can be quite uncomfortable. So this is just showing how the bed would look made up on a night time. And then underneath your bench seat on the driver's side of the vehicle at the back, this is your winter drain down tap for isolating the boiler from water. So it holds 10 litres of water at any one time. What you want to do is stand it up, and it will drain directly out underneath the chassis of 10 litres. Leave it stood up during the time you have the vehicle in storage over the winter and you're not using it, and this will stop the water from freezing in the boiler. As if it freezes, it could split the boiler, cause a lot of damage to the motorhome, and it is quite expensive to repair the boiler and isn't covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to drain it down. Once you've lifted this up, open all the taps within the vehicle, and then when you're ready to use the van again, shut all the taps in the vehicle, shut this, shut your waste and fresh outside, fill up with water, come in, cold side of the tap first with the pump on, then go to hot, and it will then cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises until you get a good pressure in the tap. Then if you lift this flap up in the wardrobe and open the drawer ever so slightly, you'll see your position where your boiler is. And then at the back you've got your trips on mains electric, and you've got your switch for your heater on 240, your oven on 240, which is your hot plate, and your water heater. So you do have a water heater on electric, so if you've got no water in, switch it off, and then you can switch it on to heat the water on electric. Then obviously on the other side of here is your heater on gas. So you turn this switch on for your electric, so you've got a switch there and a switch here for turning on for electric. So here, this is your fuse spare for the electric, as well as the main isolation switch on the back for the electric. Then for the bed, you can have it in the fold up position, or you can slide it out, and then you just put the other mattress here to create the bed. And then you do have a net if you've got young children up there, a light with a switch on, and a skylight the same in the vehicle as the other ones. Now in the cab, to the right of the driver, you've got your electric windows and mirror adjustment. You've got your side lights and main beam on your headlights and headlight adjustment. You've got your limiter on here, wipers and indicators, and then to use the windscreen washer jet, you push in and it'll spray the screen. Handbrakes to the left like in a normal car, but it is automatic, so you can just put into park. As long as you're not on a hill, you'll not roll anywhere. You've got your park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you can go right to go up the gears and down to go down. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and drive. And then you've got your blinds, so you just slide them out on both sides, and then on the windscreen you'd push one up, one down, and it'll pop the blind out. Slide that behind your rear view mirror and do the same the other side. And then you would just slide them behind the mirror, and then they are just on a magnetic strip, so you might want to put a bobble or an elastic band around them to keep them shut on a wintry, blustery night when it's windy, otherwise they could come open. And then down the bottom you've got all your temperature, your fan speed, recirculation, aircon, distribution, and a paper clip for holding various bits and pieces. ASR off's just another word for turning your traction control off. This locks the doors on at night of the cab. Hazards, 12 volt in there and 12 volt below. And your radio, so it's just FM. You press 1 to 5 to save your favourite channels. You can change to AM or CD.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
And then you've got your glove box, which is lockable with the key, which you would, to lock the glove box, you get the key, slide this forward, release the key, and then you can lock it like so. On your passenger seat, you can turn the seat round by pushing it back and then sliding the seat round. If the seat was to get stuck on the door, what you do is just pull the seat forward and then you can turn it round into the back of the motorhome.